Don't let the government be your daddy. You are self-governed.
Yes, sir!
Access granted.
Hey, what's up? It's Rick Dees in the morning. Right now, Vendog.
Going live from a 35,000-foot view with Captain America for Jesus himself. Vendog Radio.
Yeah! Welcome to Tuesday! I know you're excited, and so am I. I'm glad you're here. God bless you, Vendog in the house. Yes, it was crazy because yesterday someone checked out of the show. They said, oh, it's too much fear. I said, fear is false evidence appearing real. I wish they would have stuck around for that part, but that's all right. Sometimes people just can't handle all that truth that was popping out yesterday. It's a bit rough. If you are on YouTube, please do like, share, subscribe, and yes, please do stay subscribed. I would greatly appreciate that. And I got to say thank you to my wonderful moderators. They are my Justice League of moderators, the Jesus League of moderators, I should call them, because they are wonderful. And I really appreciate everything they do. And one day I'll have a nice budget to pay my moderators. One day in life. That would be cool. I hope so. If you are on Rumble, yes, if you're on Rumble right now, please do add me at Vendog Radio USA on Rumble. If you are on X, formerly known as Twitterverse, please hit the follow switch, repost, share, put it out into the troposphere. Thank you very much. If you're on Getter, GETTR, shouts out to Jason Miller and the entire Getter front office crew. Man, thank you so much for you guys over there at Getter, because it does get better with Getter. And I see my number is going up on Getter. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much over there at Getter. And it will be relaying to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and wherever you shall download broadcast and podcast. We are also on Podbean, Spreaker. We're everywhere. Absolutely on TuneIn Radio as well. But we're going to have a great conversation today. We might bring up a couple things. I'm not sure yet. But I decided today we're going to have a cool conversation with a great friend. She is a follower of the Lord, and she's a world traveler, and she's semi-retired from journalism. But you know what? Still got a knack for it, I think. Deborah Aldridge is here. Hi, Debbie.
Hey, Vin, good to see you.
Wow. Yes, you too.
I just want to let you know I'm getting some kind of echo. I'm not sure how to.
I think in settings you go to echo cancellation and turn it off. I think.
Not sure.
Hold on. I think it might be on my end. Hold on.
Okay.
Do you hear it now?
Say something again.
Okay, so.
Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I'm hearing myself.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh, no. I don't know. That's weird.
That is an echo. I wonder if it's on my side. Let me see. Should I check settings here?
Yeah, check settings and see if you turned on echo cancellation. But I got to tell you, wow, it's great to have you back.
It's great to be back. This is great. I'm not sure. I don't see anything that says echo cancellation.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I hope we just try to fight through this. It should be under account settings.
Account settings.
Boom, 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 boom. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to get this settled live. Can you believe it? I love it. That's the live broadcast thing. I love it. Coming up tomorrow. Yes, it was all wrong, and it's going to be a good one tomorrow, guys. The back end cover up tomorrow will be a very good one. I'm going to put out a couple of things that people probably know about already, but it's not really being talked about. but it's going to be interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. So probably Leonardo DiCaprio might be involved in that tomorrow too. Um, some weird stuff about that guy. But yeah, so it should be a good back end cover up tomorrow. Okay. So Debbie, you have been MIA for about a year.
I have. I still haven't figured out the sound echo cancellation yet. I'm not sure where that setting is you're talking about.
Oh boy. That's
Maybe
weird.
I should go out and come back in. Or
Well,
what is-
yeah, try that. That might work. That might
okay,
work.
So leave.
And then come back in. Let's see if that works. But yes, my friends, it is exciting to be here today. I'm glad you're here. We are going to take care of that situation right now. You know what I'm saying? We're good like that. But yesterday's show was really, really interesting. If you didn't watch, you can watch it later. It was pretty interesting. The Digital Ghetto Part 2. The world is a digital ghetto. Just so you know, if you haven't noticed, all of the social media platforms, etc., your television entertainment, that is pretty much, it's pretty much the way it is. The digital ghetto game is real, and they are not stopping at anything to, let's see if Deborah Aldridge can come back in here. Let's see. Okay, she's trying it again. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate everything that you guys do. And it was pretty cool just to see all of the support that you guys have given the show. And I couldn't do this without you guys. That's just the way it is. I really couldn't. Let's see here. Moderators, hopefully today's broadcast is for subscribers only. To comment in the live chat, because there's a lot of grifting going on, and I noticed that the other day when I was watching a couple other broadcasts. So let's make sure that it's on subscriber mode only, because there's been some weird things going on around here, and we need to get a grip on it, because it's just crazy. All right. So we are going to talk about some money. And as you guys know, that there's a whole lot of casharella going on with the CBDCs. They are still trying to do the digital currency thing. And the reason why I'm pulling this up for right now, because I'm still waiting for Debbie to join. She will be joining soon. Let's see. All right, guys. Let's check this out. This is a trip. I just saw this yesterday, and I figured that I would talk about this today a little bit, but I just wanted to have that conversation with Debbie, but looks like we're having technical difficulties.
We are ready to invest as the
Oh, now that's Albert Bourla. He's ready to invest. He's ready to get that $70 million. Yeah, that's crazy. So let's see here. I hope Debbie's able to check back in. I don't know what happened to her. Hopefully she can click on the join button. Let's see. I don't know what happened to her, guys. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, hopefully we can get that situation settled. Sorry for the technical difficulties, man. You know what's weird? It's been happening a lot. As a matter of fact, Cousin Pookie texted me yesterday and said that X wasn't working. So that was kind of weird. I think that they're really trying to buckle down on us, putting out the truth about what's really popping off. And it's actually crazy. So I just believe that they're going to do more of it, and it's sad, but man, I just don't know. But if you watched Gary McKibben earlier, he was having some glitching going on his broadcast, and yeah, they're doing some wonky stuff with the internet too, because Amazon was down yesterday too, and I guess all of these platforms that use the same type of server, according to my technical engineer, Pistol Pete. All right, so check this out.
Now, in the coming years, all shall receive the mark. The mark has already started in implication. Are we all aware of the mark? If not, please educate yourselves. In the mark of the beast, refusers of it shall not be able to buy or sell. They shall become beggars, cut out of the system, and that will be the pure delight. For they will be the wise. We brothers will never have the mark, for we will know that it really is control, and we cannot be controlled as we are the controllers. The mark will be the connection between AI, direct connections, free will, dependent on the algorithm. You see, at the moment, man has free will. It was given to him by God. That gives him the right to choose. Well, once we give him the mark, that free will belong to us. We will be able to track his movements, his body, his money. His decisions will be monitored 24/7. We will replace his God. A central computer that gathers all his data, from the smartphone to the mark. Now I will detail how all of you will slowly start to implement this technology.
All right, so that's crazy, huh? Taking the mock. Sorry, guys, I was trying to get Debbie back on. She's having a hard time logging in, so it's wild stuff that's happening right now, folks. So yeah, that's the plan, right? They want to give everybody the mock. And how crazy they have that guy with a satanic voice. You know, that's what they do, right? I mean, Satan knows exactly what he's doing. He's applying himself very, very well when it comes to telling people that he wants to give them the mark. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see about that, buddy. These people are just absolutely dangerous. So you guys know that I've been following this former investment banker by the name of Catherine Austin Fitts. And she really tells the truth about how they're doing this thing with the CBDCs and how they're not they're not really fooling anybody, especially the watchmen and women on the hill.
It's purely a digital concentration camp. It's a slavery system.
When Catherine Austin Fitts talks, we should listen. She's a former high-level investment banker in New York and held senior office in the first Bush administration in Washington.
There may be 1,000 models of how it could work. But essentially, you will have, whether it's a banking account or a credit card, and it can be turned off and on. So my incentive system is not you go to work and work hard and you get money. My incentive system can be based on how you behaved in the last 5 minutes, on a 24/7 basis.
CBDCs, as the name suggests, would be issued by central banks like the Federal Reserve in America and the Bank of England, not by high street banks. They would signal the end of cash, and every transaction you make would be transparent and held on a permanent database. Crucially, under a net zero regime, your carbon footprint could be at the heart of the system.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker.
This can be the infrastructure for a carbon credit system. It's totalitarian control, and if people don't become aware of it now, it's going to be too late to backtrack from this. It's a ratchet system where it's very difficult, if not impossible, to.
Not impossible to backtrack, right? They want this system for not just the UK. They want it for the world. Look at that. Global digital currency. Yeah, global bank digital currency. Now, a lot of people had no idea that Catherine Austin Fitts was going to start blowing the whistle on all of this. And she's absolutely on point. And I urge people to look up Catherine Austin Fitts. She is a former investment banker who really tells it like it is. She basically gives all the goods on what's going to happen with the financial system. And it's just going to be radically crazy how they're going to implement this. They're going to crash the market. That's no doubt about it. They're going to crash the market. And we need to be ready for how they do these things, because it is going to be wild, friends. It's going to be wild. And they're stopping at nothing. People think that the Genius Act was really, really good. It's actually terrible. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about that because we did yesterday. The Genius Act has a lot of language in that bill that refers to the digital currency, the digital system that is coming. And a lot of people are not really paying attention to the digital banking system that's being created here in America. I mean, you got people like Larry Ellison and all these guys, all the techno bros together. I mean, everybody thinks that, it's not going to happen here. A lot of people do. But you and I all know that it's going to happen here. It has to. It's sad that it's going to happen, but it's bound to happen, right? Okay. So it's bound to happen. All I have to tell you guys to do is pray. Continue to pray that people wake up to this stuff, because they have no idea that it's coming. They have no idea that it's already here. Let's say that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, because I got to figure out some things here, because I got to get Debbie back on. She's having a hard time getting back on, and I want her back on here. She has been doing this stuff for years, as far as like journalism and everything. So she knows quite a bit, and I just want to get her take on a couple things. I know we're just going to have a regular conversation today, but there's just so much going on that it is just like wicked. And we live in a wicked society. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to take a break. We're going to come right back and figure this out. You're listening to VinDog Radio Live and watching it live. We'll be right back after this.
Follow us on all of the socials at VinDog Radio. We'll be right back with more VinDog Radio Live after this.
Sir, yes, sir!
Access granted.
What's happening, friends? VinDog here, letting you know that the merch store is open for business full bore right now. VinDogRadio.myspreadshop.com. That's VinDogRadio.myspreadshop.com. You can score the latest designs from t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, baseball caps, backpacks, and more. We also have mugs, Yetis, and other drinking tumblers. This store is absolutely incredible. It has over 350 items to choose from, with every style and fashion to suit everyone's needs and desires. So if you love Jesus and you are a patriot for your country, slide on over to VinDogRadio.myspreadshop.com. That's VinDogRadio.myspreadshop.com. Don't delay. Let's do this today. Hey.
Sir, yes, sir!
Access granted.
Now, back to the man on a mission for the King of Glory, Jesus Christ. Vindog Radio.
I just love the blow up effect. Hi, Debbie. We got you back. I thought we had Debbie back. Uh-oh. I think your microphone's not on, Debbie. I can see you. Hopefully you can hear me. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Yeah, I can't hear you though. That is so strange. Because I have you on the screen and you're not, I can't hear you. That's so weird. Yeah, I tell you, these platforms have been messing up lately, guys. I don't know what's going on around here, but man, they are really doing a number on us. Still echoing. That's weird. I don't get it. Man, it's always these platforms that are always messing up, man. They need to get some better app systems. But there's been a lot of cyber attacks happening lately too. That's been going on. I had a buddy over in where is it? Wisconsin? No, Indiana. My buddy Chance in Indiana, he said that there's a lot of internet outages in his area, and he lives over there in South Bend, Indiana, near Notre Dame University. And he said there's been some outages over there too. So it's getting weird, folks. I just can't tell you how crazy it is right now. It's unbelievably out of control. But we're just going to keep on moving forward, and this show's going to keep pushing, and hopefully we can get her back on, because I'm telling you, she's got some cool things to share. And that's why I had her on, because we were just going to have a regular conversation today up until the technical difficulties took over. Okay. Now I know we got to get rid of the echo. It's so weird.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly
The
now.
echo is gone. I shut down, rebooted, and finally back on. So
Thank God you're back on.
I'm glad. Yeah, same here. So
I was like, wait a minute. The oligarchs are messing with my conversation here.
Yeah. Well, we're here now. So,
man, so you've been busy traveling the world.
Doing quite a bit of traveling. Yes. We recently came back from Scotland. That was such a hard trip, though. Beautiful country. I won't knock it. Love the people. But it was so hard that we decided to come home. After that, we were supposed to go on to Scotland or Switzerland, and said, man, we're exhausted. So, but we usually try to do two, since we're going all the way overseas, try to do two countries. But we've been to Switzerland many times. We love it. And it was our first time in Scotland. We went to Ireland last spring, which is amazing. I recommend it to anybody that loves green grass and sheep and rolling hills and tranquility, although it's and wonderful towns, but they do drive in those narrow roads. What? Did you go to Belfast? We did not go to Belfast. No, okay. We started in the capital city of I can't remember the name. Anyway, the capital city, and I was there a number of years ago. Took my mother there, and man, it has changed a lot. It's a lot of people. It's like everywhere. Everywhere is a
Mhm.
lot of people and a lot of immigrants and things like that. And then we headed up north, out into the countryside, which was spectacular. Love it. Absolutely love the countryside. And the little towns are great. They have pubs, they have, everything you need. And yeah, it was beautiful. Went to their stud farm, their horse stud farm there, which, we talked about horses earlier. And it was, my husband surprised me with that. It was great. It was wonderful. The babies were being born. And Ireland's really into horses, and they're big racers, so they raise thoroughbreds. Just absolutely beautiful, wonderful. We started at the capital city and flew out of Cork.
Oh, okay.
So up north.
Yeah,
was
one of my good friends is a pastor in Ireland in Belfast. His name is Gary McKibben.
Oh wow!
Terrific pastor. Yeah, and man, it's just crazy what's happening in the UK. That's all I have to say. It's just
a lot of crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of crazy things, especially in the big cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I heard people tell me that it doesn't even look like Europe anymore.
Well, I would say England. The main cities don't. You get out into the countryside, like the Cotswolds, and you go north in England, or you go out in the countryside once you leave Ireland's capital city, Dublin. Once you leave, you get out to the countryside and you see the real people,
right?
And the real essence of the country. And Scotland's the same. Edinburgh is a big city. Loved the castle. I loved the old town. But again, it's just everything's turning into the same thing. Every major city in Europe and the US is becoming a magnet for migrants. And you see it everywhere. Not that I'm against it, but
Especially
we know
the
we
Muslim
have.
Brotherhood.
Yes, that's the issue. And it's changing the culture of those countries. And those countries, and much like ours in some respects, are
Dearborn, Michigan.
kowtowing to that instead of upholding our Constitution, our culture, and people assimilating, which they used to do, which my mother was an immigrant to this country. She became one because she met my father and they got married. She's from the Dominican Republic. She embraced the American culture. And that's what most people did. All these people, all these Italians, Irish, English, all the people that came through Ellis Island or came, back in the day to migrate to our country, embraced the American dream, the culture. Now they want to change it and destroy the American dream. And that's the problem. And that's the problem in all these other Western countries. Now, I'm talking as a person that lived in the Middle East, in two different countries in the Middle East, in Turkey and also in Saudi Arabia. I also grew up in Europe. And I am really happy about the relationship that Donald Trump has with the Prince of Saudi Arabia. I'm really happy about that. They now allow women in Saudi Arabia to participate in athletic sports and to not have to wear the hijab, the big black hijab, unless they want to. They have more choices. And I was treated very well, never had to cover my head when I lived there. But that's not what's happening in other Muslim countries. They're actually going backwards in other Muslim countries. And they're bringing that backward ideology here to the Western world.
Yeah.
And Mandami is encouraging that.
Oh, man. And I got to tell you, though, this, though. And this audience is very wise to this. They're like, you can tell that we're approaching the last days.
I often feel that way myself.
You can really
things are upside down
on the wall with everything that's going on. It's like, wait a minute. Fast forward has been hit.
Sure feels like that, especially when you travel and you see so many of these cities that were once vibrant cities. You know, a number of years ago, I'm thinking maybe, I want to say maybe 10, 15 years ago, when I was in London, I've been in England more recent than that, but going back about that many years ago, I was in London and I was looking for a place to eat. And I do love Middle Eastern food. And I had somebody tell me, oh, there's a great restaurant there that does the, I forgot the name of the kind of food. But anyway, it was a particular style of Middle Eastern food. And it was wonderful. And I loved it. And the waitresses and servers, I should say, were just in Western clothes, really nice, beautiful restaurant. And I was ready to leave. And the young gal said, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. You need to stay a little longer. And I didn't know why. And I stayed. And this black limousine pulled up. And this woman who was all covered in black stepped out and walked up. And then suddenly these fire torches went up and her black covering came off, and she was an amazing belly dancer. When I lived in Turkey, there was a lot of belly dancing going on throughout the Middle East. And my parents actually went to Beirut and visited friends, and they went to a big club there that had belly dancing. And I don't know how you feel about it, but it was part of their culture. Now they completely have erased that. And my parents actually bought me, when I was 9 years old, a belly dancing costume. I have a picture of me in it. And it was really cute with the balloony kind of pants and the little top and the headdress and everything. But it was an art. It was also part of their culture for years. Now you will never find that anywhere, because now it's so taboo with this, you know, these extremists. So.
Yeah. I remember, what was it? I think it was a little bit ago. I texted you and I said, hey, you want to do a broadcast with me? You're like, I would love to, but I'm in Poland. I'm like, what?
I was in Poland not too long ago with my daughter. My daughter put together the most amazing trip. And we do this mother and daughter trip like once, maybe every other year. So we've covered a lot of ground. Norway, Sweden, we did that together. Croatia and Poland. I'm trying to think what other places we've been. But anyway, it's been wonderful. And Poland was an amazing, refreshing, just a surprise to me. I have traveled the world. I'd never been to Poland. The most I knew about Poland, I knew a few Polish people years ago, but what I always thought about Poland, and I think a lot of us do in the back of our mind, is World War II. You know, just don't think about what the Polish people are really all about what the country was really all about. So it was an amazing experience. We landed in Gdansk, and just a beautiful city. She had everything planned. She had all these different tours, food tours and city tours. And
now when you're talking like food, Debbie, you're talking my language, and you know that.
Yeah, the food was great. It was just wonderful. I can't say enough about Gdansk. I can't say enough about Poland. There's going to be a big wave, I think, after hearing about Poland and your audience. People going, but more and more Americans are going to Poland. And throughout these big cities that we hit, 3 of the big major cities in Poland, we crossed the country, which it's a huge country. We went from Gdansk to Warsaw to Krakow. And every one of those cities were amazing. The people were amazing. In a lot of these cities, these are major cities now. Excuse me. Krakow is a big, what's the term I'm looking for? High rises. It's a big center of commerce. It's amazing. We actually learned how to make pierogies on the top of a high rise with the sun setting. Yeah. And on the top level, in the great outdoors. It was just absolutely beautiful. And then we took a bullet train, and it was as quiet and as smooth as anything I've ever seen and been on. And we got to see the beautiful countryside. We ended up from Gdansk to Krakow. And then we did the same thing going on to Warsaw. And every one of these cities, they had a Holocaust museum. In Gdansk, that's where World War II began. And we went to the very site on the Bering Sea where the bomb was first dropped. And we saw their displays and their monuments and all of that. We also went to Chopin concert because Chopin is from that area, from Poland, and it was amazing. We just did so many things. I couldn't believe my daughter crammed all this in. Also, the largest castle or palace in the world is in Poland, and it's fully intact. It's absolutely amazing. It's I guess you could call it the Red Palace because it's so big, and it's made out of red bricks. And it's, I can't tell you enough. Another little ditty, I'm going to take a swig here. Interesting fact is that people who know about the Mennonites, have you heard about the Mennonites?
Yes, yep.
I have too for years. I've met many. I never knew this fact. The Mennonites originated in Poland. But as you drive in the countryside near Gdansk, you can see in Warsaw, they have Mennonite churches and buildings. And we actually went to a restaurant that was once a Mennonite home. But the Mennonites, when things started rumbling before World War II actually began, there was a lot of rumbling going on, and they got wind of it and they fled. Every Mennonite, Polish Mennonite, fled. And that's where they originated. And I found that to be very interesting because the Jewish people didn't seem to have that same kind of feeling of, something's kind of rumbling here and we better take heed of it. So that was really interesting to me. But I will say every single Holocaust exhibit, museum, and all these cities were absolutely amazing. And then we ended up in Warsaw. Warsaw is where the death camps were. Warsaw is, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Warsaw is a beautiful, or Krakow rather, not Warsaw, Krakow. Krakow is a beautiful city. I could live in that city. I could live in any of those cities, but Krakow, I absolutely loved it. The people are so amazing. A lot of these cities don't have traffic lights. They have a lot of people. They have people on bicycles. They've got trains, city trains, and buses and cars driving. But every time they approach a pedestrian area, they just stop. Nobody has to tell them to stop. They don't need a light to tell them to stop. They all stop. And people walk, and it was just like another world to me. It's a big city too. We also went up into the mountains. They have mountains. They have ski resorts. They have a lot of castles also in Krakow. Just absolutely beautiful people, wonderful people, kind people. I love seeing all the families. I love seeing the big giant plaza that they have with all the kids and the families all out there together, even late into night. They have these, all these cities have huge parks, like a central park. And they have little cafe. Yeah, they have little cafes in them, and just little places you can gather. And people are out late at night, walking their dogs, going to these little cafes. I felt completely safe. With my daughter and I felt completely safe. So that is my Polish story. But going to see, going out there to see where the Holocaust was really at its worst. We did go to see Schindler's office. We went to the ghetto as well and saw where the Jewish people lived there that were rounded up. And right before you get to Schindler's office is a big plaza. And in that plaza, they have all these chairs that are all painted silver and bolted to the ground. And each chair represents, I believe, 3,000 people, or some astronomical amount of people that died from that area in Auschwitz. And so we did go out to Auschwitz, and it's heart-wrenching. It's hard to not be moved, not be changed by actually being in that facility, and that seeing how vast and huge it was and how many people they crammed into beds and in buildings and everything. So it was educational and informational and beautiful trip.
Wow. It's amazing to me that you went to Poland. When you text me you were in Poland, I'm like, what? You're in Poland? What? And I was going to tell you too, hey, visit the Holocaust areas. And you did it.
We did. Everyone it was amazing. The one in each city had a huge Holocaust museum. And the unique thing too, Ben, is that each one was different. Each Holocaust museum was unique in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually bought a few books when we were at Auschwitz. And one of them is about, Hitler loved doing experiments on twin children. And one was on a surviving twin of those experiments. Of course, the woman has passed away now. She lived at a fairly long age, but she wrote an amazing book about twins. And it's very moving. It's very, it's an easy read, but it's in her words. And about the twins.
Wow. According to a lot of numbskulls, the Holocaust never happened, Debbie.
I know. Can you believe that? There are so many people of deniers of so many things, even reality, even our own current reality. So many people are in such denial. It's disheartening, really. It's kind of like, no wonder our culture, our country, the world is kind of on a downward spiral.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's why I'm glad I'm a follower of Christ, because I know how it all ends.
Amen. Amen. Amen to that.
Well, actually, for believers like us, it's not even the end. It's actually going towards the beginning of eternal life. So we're good.
Yeah, we're good. For sure.
And it's funny because people will always ask, man, you're not worried? I'm like, no, not really.
I will tell you, when I was out at those Holocaust museums, and when we walked around Auschwitz, and tears were flowing for sure for myself and others. But one of the things that kept going through my head was, why, God? Why? And that's, I believe in God, and I believe he's a just and loving God. I believe everything wonderful about our God. But that's one thing that I can't wait to ask. Why did so many people have to suffer? But I here's what I believe the answer is going to be. I didn't make them suffer.
Nope.
Man did. Evil did. Evil did. And that is something we have to remember when we see things that are so ugly, so abhorrent to what is normal and kind and loving. And we have to remember that it's evil. That Satan is alive and well on planet Earth.
Oh man, he's running the table right now because he's running out of time.
Exactly. So we have to stay tough and we have to stay true.
Mm-hmm. We have to be vigilant and
Vigilant.
yeah. So
and pray for those that we love that
Mhm.
haven't embraced our Lord, that haven't,
Mhm.
committed themselves. And I'm sure all of us know some.
Yeah, and we also have to pray for leaders that are surrounded by heretics that aren't telling them the truth about the gospel.
Absolutely. 100%.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
unfortunately, they know of God, but they don't know of the full deity. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's kind of sad to see that, and I tell people they're surrounded by these people that are just there for the photo ops and extra financial gain.
Oh yes. Oh yes. That fame and fortune has always
Mhm.
been a driving force for a lot of people and can get people, good people, in trouble.
Mhm. Yeah, it could.
Very
Hey,
easily.
we've seen it all, right?
We certainly have seen it all. Yeah.
Not
I was going to say, a lot of people go to Washington with really great intentions and ideas, and it could be going into anything really,
Mhm.
and corruption grabs them, and it's a slippery slope. You have to
Mhm.
really, I think, when you take on going to a place that is already a cesspool. I mean, Washington D.C. I've loved. I've have spent a lot of my years there because
Mhm.
our family roots are there. But you have to be careful, and that's like anywhere. Going to LA, going anywhere where you can get caught up into the fervor and into the culture, and
Mhm.
we see it happen a lot.
Yeah, we do see it happen a lot. So, you've been doing all this traveling, and I was telling everybody else, yeah, she's kind of semi-retired now, you know. She's enjoying life finally.
Not that I haven't enjoyed it before. I loved the time that I put in, and when I started, I think right before Trump announced he was going to run the first time, kind of started really getting into the nitty gritty of it all, and really was on the road a lot. And
I remember.
yeah, I live here in the West, and I was pretty much in DC a lot, and it was great. It was great. I loved it. I loved being very involved in CPAC. I loved all the people I met, all the people I interviewed. Hopefully, the time I spent all those years until recently, supporting the conservative movement, interviewing, getting to know, digging into what some of these people who are now leaders today believe and are focused on and are hoping to right our country. I wouldn't change it for anything. I learned a lot, as well as hopefully I brought a lot to my audience, and I wouldn't have changed any of that. But as I told you, I think before the show started, things kind of changed for me when I found out that my mother, well, it was becoming obvious that she had, dementia. She was on the early stages of dementia. Now has it pretty bad. So it was, I think, a time for me. It was telling me it was time to step back and focus on my family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened.
Sometimes it takes things like that to really get it to reel us into reality and say, hey, you know what? It's time to slow down because there's more important things, right?
Yeah, family should come first, for sure. And I loved, we kind of started a few years ago that my daughter and I would take a trip together like once every other year and have that bonding time. Because she doesn't live near me. She's lives in Colorado and I live in Utah. So I don't get, and she works. She's like always gone. She's a outdoor adventure guide. So she's always on the road and always busy. And so it's been really good. And then she needs time with her husband. It's always good to have that mom and daughter time too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Yeah. Because I remember, man, you were working like a machine in 2016 all the way up. I was like, holy smokes, man. Where is she going next?
Yeah, I was pretty busy. I tell you, I was all over the place between DC and Florida, and there was so much going on. You know, there was the remember the hanging chads and the pipe breaking and the I mean, all these things that actually didn't really, I mean, it was just everything. It was so
wild.
Wild. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. It was a wild time for sure.
Oh, man. So no, this is good to hear. And I kind of told everybody while we were trying to get you back on, and I started playing other video clips. I wasn't intending to play those other video clips today. I just wanted to just have a conversation to find out what's new and up with you and how you're enjoying life right now. And you know, now you're into the horses, and I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you know, when you get a certain age, you better start looking at your life and think, what is it that you always wanted to do that you didn't have a chance to do? I mean, I can't really complain. I've done everything I've wanted to do, I set out to do. And I think you just have to, you know, always keep looking forward. And one of the things I wanted to do my whole life since I was really little was I loved horses. I've always wanted a horse. And every chance I got to go to a stable and ride a horse.
Oh no. What in the world just happened? Hold on, folks.
I'm still
Debbie,
here.
you got knocked off.
I guess I did, because
that's weird.
That is weird. I'm still here. But so after sort of the realization of my mother's situation, and as time went by, and I thought, you know, I think it's time for me to retire. So my husband said to me about that same time, which was 3 years ago, you talk about horses all the time, just go find yourself a horse. And I dragged him all over Utah looking for the right horse. And I found her, not what I expected I was going to find, a 3-year-old thoroughbred. I thought I was going to get an older horse, but she and I just bonded and fell in love. And I looked at other horses, a lot of horses I would get on and ride. They were like barn horses. They just wanted to, you know, race back to the barn. And that's not the kind of horse I wanted. I wanted a horse that I could grow with, that could grow with me. We could learn together. We could, you know, have this bond together. And my horse and I are really bonded. And it's been a wonderful experience. I have learned so much. I've had to get stronger. I've got to lift my big heavy saddle on a thoroughbred, not on a quarter horse. And I have a heavy saddle. I wasn't really thinking, but when I got it, but I do it all, and I groom her, pick her hooves, do all of that, ride her. And it's been a growing experience for me, mental and physical experience, and a just beautiful experience. And it's very, it's very therapeutic. Like I can forget everything else, and just, you need to focus on your horse when you're riding, or especially if you're out on a trail ride, or, you know, whatever you're doing, your focus has to be between you and the horse. And it's like an escape. It's like, you know, you're another world. So it's been, and we talked earlier, you're a horseman, you know all about horses too. It's freedom. It just feels free. It just feels like natural.
Yeah. It's an awesome experience to deal with horses. It's actually fun.
It's a blast.
Except for when I had to clean up the stalls. That's the part I didn't like.
You know what? That does not bother me. I don't clean up my horses' stalls. They have some young gals out there that do the stalls. But when we're out in the arena, and if I'm out in the arena with my horse and she makes the mess and does her business, after we're all done, I go take up the muck up bucket and the rake, and I, shovel up her
stuff.
Yeah. I have no problem with it. Yeah, no problem at all. I feel like it's all
a lot of hay.
That's a lot of hay. I feel like it's part of the experience. If you really want to be a horse person, you got to do it all.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my dad had multiples, and so it was a big cleanup.
That would take time. Oh wow.
And it filled the dumpster.
Yeah, I bet. I wouldn't doubt I would not like that either if I had to do that many stalls. I mean, the ranch that my horse is at, there are a lot of horses. She has her own. They have to keep them separated by, I think, sucks and stuff. And she's a young thoroughbred, so she has her own stall. It's kind of a long indoor-outdoor stall. And she has her little neighbor friends and the same situation. But then there's all these huge paddocks all around with lots of different types of horses in them. And when we go in the arena, the outdoor arena, there's usually quite a handful of us out there together. And it's good for the horses to be together. They learn to get along. They learn to, do things together. So, but yes, the arena can turn into a bit of a mess itself. But we clean it up. We all try to do our part.
Oh man, that's awesome. I love it. just thinking about it made me laugh. But when I was doing the work, I wasn't laughing the first time. But I got used to it. It was actually kind of cool and relaxing, actually.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I feel like it's all part of the package.
Yeah, that's kind of wow. So, what kind of a horse is she?
A thoroughbred.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those
I
are cool.
Were
there any geldings there?
There are geldings there.
They have egos, right?
Oh yes. Well, that's why she's in by herself. And there's several other horses that have their own stalls, but they're kind of an indoor-outdoor stall, and they're pretty big and they're long, and they kind of buddy up with each other, even though they're not in the same stall together. Like they kind of become buddies. Like I've watched my horse and this other horse. Well, she's sort of adopted this other horse that's a young horse, and I call it her baby because they neigh at each other. When I take her out to the arena, they're both like, like talking to each other, like, when are you coming back? And so I said, oh, you got to go see your baby. But she's had another horse bought on the other side, and they used to put their heads over the railing of their paddock area, and they'd scratch each other's back.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's so cute. So cute. But all the horses actually get along, really well. Even with the other horses and the other paddocks.
Yeah, they're very interesting specimens, let me tell you.
They are. They're a herd animal too. They like to be with other horses, and you become part of their herd.
Wow. I never really thought that they would have horses in Utah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm just joking because I always think of Utah as like, very snowy.
Oh yeah.
I think of the salt flats and all that stuff,
But it is the West. It's like the heart of the West. We're right in the middle, dead center of the West, and lots of horse people here. Although we've had a mass migration of people from neighboring states that have flooded, especially Salt Lake and Provo. They are building here like so fast and so many homes, and most of them are these like row houses, like you saw in Washington D.C. years ago, like all these row houses, all these condos. It's really, to me, I just feel like what they're doing to our state now, particularly in northern Utah, I think is criminal. We already have a water shortage. We've had always, because we're a dry state. We're in the middle of the West, and most Western states are dry. And we have these reservoirs, but we depend on rain. And now, I mean, I forgot how many millions they said of people have settled here in the last 2 years. Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Traffic is horrendous right now. Matter of fact, my husband and I both put cameras on the front and back of our cars because the driving has become so aggressive, so dangerous. It's unbelievable. It's been an overnight phenomenon in the last 2 years, and it's become very, very frustrating. I'm not happy about it, and I can tell you, I'm still seeing like license plates from Wisconsin. I mean, we were seeing a lot of license plates from California last year. Now we're seeing like Wisconsin and Washington State, and I forget what the latest one was, like from all these places. Well, why are these people fleeing their states and coming to Utah?
Maybe they're being paid to come there.
Well, I think it might be a twofold or trifold. I think a lot of them are fleeing because they're sick of the liberal politics of their states. And I think there's another group that want to change the politics of our state.
Yeah, that's the dangers of all of that too. And another thing I always say is like, when you flee the state that you're from, that's causing all the havoc, if you don't stick around and fight, it's going to trickle down everywhere else.
Absolutely. Like, stick around and fight. I ran for Congress here a number of years ago, and I don't know if you knew that, Ben, but and I know a lot of really good people here, but right now I do not think we have real good leadership here. And I think Utah is going to be in trouble because now we have all these outliers that have come into our state, and we don't know who's good, who's bad, who's going to cause problems. We also have a huge illegal population here as well. For the most part, they've been pretty good. For the most part, you don't hear of too many crimes being committed by illegals here, which is a good thing. But you do hear a lot of crime from a lot of white people. And a lot of them, I think, are people that are coming in from other states, because we had such a low crime rate before. Now our crime rate is so high. So
yeah, I noticed that. I was looking at the crime scale. I'm like, man, Salt Lake City is on steroids right now.
It really is. It's horrible. It's just really changed the demographics, has changed the culture of Salt Lake and of Utah and surrounding towns, and around Salt Lake City. That's where the majority. Although Southern Utah, down at St. George, they're also getting a lot of the same issues with.
I heard that's crazy.
Yeah, massive building, a lot of crime going on. I mean, we were kind of a sleepy town. We used to joke, only maybe 4 years ago, we used to joke like everybody here was on Valium because everyone drove slow. And if the light turned, my husband and I used to joke about this. You'd come up to a light and it would turn green and nobody would move for like a minute. And so we used to say, oh, everyone's on Valium. It's all like, well, everyone was it was an easy kind of culture here. It was just a nice culture, nobody in a hurry, everybody being nice and neighborly and, kind of culture. And now it's completely different. We can hear cars racing from our house every night at midnight, up and down the main
Yikes.
road that is like 2 blocks away from us, and you feel like it's right on top of us. And they're
Well,
racing.
you know that a part of that, I don't know if you read that whole, well, it's kind of hard to read the whole big beautiful bill, like thousands of pages. There was things including the good guy Larry Fink from BlackRock in there to do all of this building, and they want to make all these areas like smart cities in 15-minute increments. So it's happening everywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, I believe it. Idaho, I know Idaho's having, a lot of problems. A lot of the ranchers are having problems because they have rivers and streams and lakes, bodies of water that run through their property, which most ranchers need and depend on for their livestock. And a lot of these towns are these city officials are trying to divert the water because they're building all these, new neighborhoods, new developments.
So-called smart cities.
Smart cities. And so it's affecting the ranchers. And it's also caused some erosion because they're trying to divert these rivers, which, the ranchers actually have property rights. They own the land, they have water and property rights. And when the government comes in to take and use eminent domain or whatever it is to take property and take the water away from the ranchers, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
It's criminal.
It's criminal. They've actually caused more harm because there's been erosions, because that's not the natural course of these rivers after the snow or heavy rain. And they keep trying to come back to their natural origin, and it's causing where they've placed roads to erode.
Yeah,
So
it's really heinous at the end of the day. I'm like, my goodness, why are you messing with something that's natural? Well, we know why, because it's all about control.
Right. And then when they do it, they don't do it correctly. So it's just everything it's an upside down world, it feels like. And I really just don't know where we're headed next.
The best thing that ever happened to the country is when the government shut down.
Yeah. It's true. All that has to cease, eminent domain and all that.
I'm like, man, we don't need you guys anyway, because according to the Constitution, it was created, we're the government, not you.
Yeah, well, everyone sort of seems to forgot about that.
Yeah, they're all career politicians, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was like the everyday working man or woman would serve once, and then they would go back to their business or jobs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's not like that anymore. And it's nearly impossible for an average citizen to go and try to run for a public office because it's sort of all in the bag.
Yeah. And these people have their lobbyists now. So like, oh.
Yeah, there are a lot of games. Excuse me. There are a lot of games out there being played, and I can attest to that because I saw it when I was running. A lot of different games. I was uninvited to a debate that when I was running in my district area.
You know why? Because you had a moral compass.
Yeah, I was uninvited to this debate, and I had already RSVP'd, and then I got an email. And I showed it to my husband. I said, this is ridiculous. And he said, oh, we're going down there anyway. And so we went down there, and I said, look, I'm here for the debate. We said, they told me, the lady at the door said, oh, we don't have room for you. We're full now. And I said, I am a candidate here, and I've been at every single debate, and I RSVP'd early, as soon as you sent the notice out. So I told my husband, he goes, oh, I know somebody in there. I'm going to go talk to them. And he did. And he said, oh, that's ridiculous. She's being denied into the debate. So he got me in, but I had to sit on the side of the table because there's no more room at the table.
Because the chosen ones are at the table.
Yes. The chosen ones were at the table. And then a person tried to give me a gotcha question. And luckily, the person who was conducting the actual debate, he was looking at the questions before they were given, because, you know, a lot of people out there can be nasty. So he looked, obviously, everyone can see, he looked at the one that was supposed to be for me, and he looked at it, and he said, we're going to get back to her. And he turned it over and wrote a different question for me to answer, because, and then I flipped it over and he goes, did you see it was on the other side? I said, yeah, it was not nice.
You know, what's crazy is that there was this guy who was a comedian. I mean, I didn't care for the language that he used, but he said something that really stuck with me on one of his stand-ups that I watched a video a couple years ago. He said, it's all one big club and we're not invited.
And I think that's true on so many occasions. I think there are people who are able to break through that barrier. I think today it doesn't happen very often, but I think there are some that can. I would like to see some of the honorable congressmen and women and senators to look at the new field and help those that are behaving and have behaved and honorably, and are also has the same agenda of wanting to keep our Constitution and our country sound, and maybe mentor them. I don't know, but I think it's going to become harder and harder for conservative people to
true conservatives
to continue to win races. If the former true conservative congressman or senator, when their term is up, doesn't help step in and just even mentor something, because here's the thing, we're going to end up with more Mandamis. We're going to end up with people that don't know really what is going on, but they're being pushed to go into politics because it'll help their agenda, you know, or another person's agenda. I think if we want to stay true to our Constitution and to our country, we need to help bring up good leaders. And former leaders can help with that. Former good, real conservative leaders become mentors, because we need to be sending better people to Washington.
And
honorable people.
Check this out. So I was just looking at a survey last week on a poll, and you got two numbskulls running for mayor of New York, Andrew Cuomo and Mamdani. Mamdani's leading the charge by like 24 points.
Somebody who was a nobody, only so many months ago?
He was an intern for his mother.
Yeah.
Is leading the race. Now, to be honest with you, that's kind of scary, because ever since he announced his mayoral running candidacy, did you know that real estate in Israel is booming right now because a lot of the Jewish people are going to leave New York if this happens?
Well, thanks to Trump, they'll be able to. I mean, really, I think there's a resurgence in Israel right now after Trump's amazing deal to help get those hostages out. And even though it's not completely, 100% perfect, it's better than it was. And he got a lot of these, Middle Eastern countries, Muslim countries that are moderates to go in on getting that, situation under control and get the hostages back. So that's a big win. And I think it also has inspired Jews to, yes, under these circumstances, let's go back to Israel. Let's go to Israel. Israel is going to be a better place for it. And, Israel also, on the other side of Israel is Jordan. And I've been to Jordan. And Jordan's actually a beautiful country. And I was in Jordan before this king was king. I went to Jordan when it was the father and Queen Noor.
I can't think of his name right now, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And so it's a great country. I know that the current queen is a beautiful woman. She's a very smart, savvy woman, much like Queen Noor was. And so I have great hopes. And Jordan was forced to take a lot of Palestinians way back in the day. And they really didn't want to, but they were forced when they were dividing up all the different land, and that big
You know what
peninsula.
God says what happens if people try to divide his land of Israel, right?
Yes. Right.
There's going to be consequences
So
to be rendered, basically.
Right. But for Jordan has had more moderate leaders, kings, than some of the other countries. And now Saudi Arabia does too. And they tried to force Jordan to take more Palestinians. And they said, no, we can't. I mean, Jordan's actually a small country. But think of it this way. Not that all Palestinians are bad. Don't get me wrong.
70% of them identify with Hamas.
Yeah. So you think about this. Those Gulf states, none of them wanted to take the Palestinian people. So why are we taking them? Why did we take any? We got that big group up there in Minnesota. I think it should have. I don't believe in taking blocks of people. I think each person should come in on their own, basis and be put through the test. When we take big blocks in, and I forgot which president started that. Was it Nixon? I can't remember. But when you start taking big blocks of people in, yes, we had Ellis Island and they were pushing them through. But this was a different time. And when you take big blocks of people from countries that are so vastly different from yours, and that has a history of what's the right word? History of terrorism, a history of I think they should be brought in on a case by case, person by person basis.
Yeah, that's true. I know a guy who's like an expert on the Quran, and he says that Muslims, the Islamic Brotherhood, they're taught to blend in with a majority crowd to emulate into their society to fool them. But when you get more people in numbers, that's when you turn the coat. And this guy is a pastor and he's a former Muslim. And he said, if I were you guys, I wouldn't trust any of them.
Yeah, they're two, or I think
it
at
says
least
Allah is the chief of deceivers.
Yes. They're like two different branches, or at least two, or maybe there's even three, but branches. And the extremists are the most dangerous, of course. And we've seen that with the Taliban. We've seen it with Hamas. We've seen it Al-Shabaab. I mean, there's so many. And here's one thing, Ben, I want to bring up that nobody in this country is talking about. We are supposed to be a Christian country, correct? We are based on Judeo-Christian principles and laws and things like that, and founded as a Christian country. Do you know that almost every day in Nigeria, Christians are being slaughtered?
Over 100,000 so far.
Yes. Where are our Christians? I know a Christian man that is leading the way and to help save these people. But where is our government on Nigeria and what Nigeria is doing? Where are the other countries? Where are all the other countries? They're nowhere to be seen. They'll run, to Hamas and, we can't do that, to Hamas or the Palestinian people.
But they're also making deals with the devil, like Qatar. Qatar sponsors terrorism.
Yeah, Qatar is not your friend. Yeah.
I don't get that.
Exactly.
And they're letting them build an air base in Idaho. Did you hear about that?
They're happy to bring. They're not your friend.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we making deals with the devil?
Exactly. Why do we? But yeah, Nigeria has really bothered me a lot about all these Christians being killed for their faith, being slaughtered, just run down, and villages burned and everything. It's just, I don't know,
There was a horrific video that I won't play on the show of them being shot with like machine guns.
Oh yeah. I think
like,
I've
literally
seen the same one. Gunned down. They're being gunned down. Men, women, and children. They don't discriminate. They will gun down anybody in a Christian village and destroy the town and destroy all these people. And I don't see them getting any help from anybody. Why are we helping all these other countries and we can't help them who are actually Christian?
Yeah. My mother-in-law has Dutch family members in South Africa that are Christians, and they're being persecuted to the gills.
Yeah. And that too.
It's crazy.
Yeah. There's parts of Africa, which I've been to Africa as well. My daughter was just there for like 2 months and she's come back. There are parts of Africa that are absolutely beautiful, that are wonderful, that are safe. But then there are these other parts that are horrendous and people are dying and the world seems to turn a blind eye. Yes, South Africa, parts of South Africa is also in that same category. Farmers, their farms are being burned. Their women and children are being burned.
Yeah, my wife's cousin had a duck farm there. It used to sell ducks to China.
Oh, nuts.
And the government destroyed them.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, at least
supposedly it was the bird flu, but it really wasn't. They just wanted to, destroy the white farmers.
Right.
That's crazy.
But they're actually killing the white farmers too. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I do believe, maybe I'm wrong, that Trump had a few people in from South Africa. I don't know, maybe last winter, they were in the White House talking about South Africa and the killing of the white South Africans. What do they call them? Non-Afrikaners?
Yeah, Afrikaans.
Yeah. So I do believe that was brought up, but it was brought up, at that particular time.
There's a guy by the name of Simon Roach that I've interviewed last year. He's a journalist in South Africa, and he's like, he goes, what's not being reported, it's not just the Anglo people in South Africa that are being killed. It is the conservative.
Oh, okay.
They're killing the black conservatives too over there.
And could those conservatives happen to be Christian?
Yep, you got that right. They're all Christians.
Yeah.
Like he says, if you go into those populations over there, they don't condone any of the things that are condoned here, if you know what I'm talking about, the alphabet mafia stuff in the culture over there. But he said ever since Barack, Saddam Hussein, Obama,
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was going to go to that exact same thing.
And the Bushes.
Yeah.
Because the Bushes are complicit to this too.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Remember when the dad said about the New World Order, So, that's, and I'm like, that's nuts.
Right.
He's like, yeah, they're killing Christians on a dime over there.
Yeah, Barack did not help any of those people.
Oh, that was his plan. And he destroyed Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
He destroyed their economy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. The stuff that goes on that the majority of American people don't know. And it goes on often thanks to our government at the time, either turning a blind eye or being complicit in it and in participation. And the stuff that goes on around other parts of the country. And this is why they hate Trump. They hate Trump because he wants to see peace everywhere. He wants peace here. He wants peace there. He doesn't understand why people can't get along. And frankly, I can't either. But some people's ideology is so embedded in them, but it doesn't need to be. Because you're not born with this ideology. You're not born believing other people are bad until you're taught that other people are bad, that other races are bad, other cultures are bad. You're taught that. You don't come into this world innately believing that other cultures and other races and other people are bad.
Now, a lot of people know that I talk about this. If you read the actual definition of race in the Oxford Dictionary, it was created by somebody who wanted to cause division with people, because the word race is a construct. I know. I go into definitions a lot.
Well, it's true.
It was created because there's only one race, and that's the human race, right?
Exactly.
Everybody just has different shades of melanin. I mean, it's just it. But when I read this, I'm not surprised at anything that's happening in the world when I read this.
Yeah, it all has happened before. Just read from the Old Testament through the New Testament. It's all there.
Yeah. So I am not shocked at anything that's happening. I'm not. That's why I do what I do, because I know that all of this stuff is taking place. It's all, and it's all by design. I mean, that it's a part of their depopulation plan.
Yeah, it's been prophesized. It's horrible things happened in the Old Testament, and there are many prophecies in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, and it's all been prophesied. And if we don't look to our Lord and our Savior for hope, redemption, to be a better example, to be a better person, then we're no better than those that are talked about in the Bible that will perish.
Yeah. And unfortunately, if you've noticed too, when you see things going around, like you sent me a couple of videos on Instascam where, man, people are just we live in like a more callous society now.
Oh my gosh. It's if people thought the 60s were bad, this is so bad. What is going on in these blue states of just the 60s? There was a lot of stuff going on in the 60s, but the people now are just, they're, at least in the 60s, they were fighting for like women's rights, certain specific things. What are these people fighting for now? Do they even know there, a lot of them, they're asked on the streets and they can't really tell you what it is that you're actually fighting for. We know what all those people were fighting, were standing for when they had all those Hamas, marches and closing down the universities, which is outrageous. And,
funded by Qatar, folks.
Right. Exactly. But these protests, like the one they continue to have, like in Chicago and what is it, Minneapolis, and all these, like, do you even know what you're protesting? Oh, you hate Trump. Tell me why you hate Trump. I mean, and then they give you some stupid reason, or because of the LGBTQI, whatever. I mean, all these different things. There's so many different subgroups. There's so many different agendas. And frankly, I think a lot of people don't even know what it is that group is actually protesting about. Is it a real protest, or is it just to be outrageous and vandalous and,
It's to the point that people don't realize that they're fighting to their own demise.
Yeah.
That's what it all boils down to. I mean, I read Romans 1 and it tells me that the world is given over to a debased mind. They have no idea what they're going to be fighting for or what they're standing for. They're in confusion.
Yeah, that's a really, that's so true. They don't. It's like all these old women were out there just the other day, like in this march and protesting and everything. It's like, I think some reporter was like, there's actually women out here, much older, and they're doing all these different kinds of things. Do they really know what it is that their protest, their march is all about? I mean, or was it just, oh yeah, let's just go? I think who was saying it, his mother was actually in it, I believe, was what's his name on Fox? I can't think of his name now. Has his own show.
Jesse Waters.
Jesse, yeah. I think he was talking about, hey, my mother went to that. Like, oh my gosh.
I was like, I think they were just out there just to get out of the house.
That must be it. I mean, because I could not understand, what are these gray-haired ladies or old ladies doing?
Like, do you have any idea why you're there? Why you are there? Do you have any idea? Please answer that for us.
Yeah, it's just become so absurd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I honestly believe that this entire society is living in an optical illusion, and they have no idea.
That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
It is an optical illusion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. I always defer to the movie The Matrix. People are stuck.
Yeah. I used to quote The Matrix a lot. I haven't for a while.
I know.
But yeah, The Matrix, yes. You're in the Matrix.
That's why I went there, because I remember you quoting that.
Oh, really? I know. It's so true. That movie is, it's the series, I should say. It's very interesting. And when you look at what people are doing, it's like, okay, just accept the fact you're in the Matrix. You don't know what the heck you're doing, or I mean, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But on a better note, like I said in the middle of the show, we know how this all plays out, how it ends, and it's going to be great. You know what I mean? So it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Amen.
Man is not going to save us. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, man's not going to save us. There are a couple good, and I wish I knew the names of them, a couple good Christian movies coming out soon. So, or have come out, can be in the theater. So if people want some good entertainment, check some of those out. I can't remember the names of them, but I remember reading about them coming out, and there's several. And
shameless plug, she and some other people are working on a independent Christian movie that's not going to be picked up by any studio, because they want like total like control of it.
Sure.
Because sometimes these big companies want to, you know, put their twist on it, and they're like, no, we're not doing that. So they're in the process of putting that all together, and they are going to probably release it next year. And I'm gonna have them on to promote that. It's gonna be kind of cool. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think some of these that are coming out are also independent, and that's why they don't end up running very long in the theaters like the regular Hollywood movies do. So you've got to kind of catch them when they're in your area, because they don't have the kind of the budget or anything like that. But I know that some of them looked really good. And they'll be coming to, I think, most cities. And just you'll have to keep your eye out for them because they probably won't be playing as long as regular movies. But you're exactly right.
You know, I was talking to someone that actually had a movie finished, and they were submitting it to the theaters, and the executives actually called them back and says, "Oh, sorry, we're not going to pick up the movie." And they're like, "Why?" And they're like, "We're just not going to pick it up." But you know, they wouldn't give them an well, we know why.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, some companies, not to be mentioned, Angel Studios, excuse me, had something involved in that because they wanted to pick up that film, but the people didn't want them to touch it. They were doing it on their own, and I was just like, oh. So there's a lot of jockeying for a position with these so-called companies too.
There is. Plus, I think some of these companies are shy away from Christian movies because the fear of they're not going to get a big as turnout as they would like a Hollywood movie. And you know, there's a lot of all that kind of stuff is in play.
Yeah. There's even politics in that industry.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy.
Sure.
I'm like, wow.
There's politics in everything, it seems like. And that's why it's refreshing that, you know, we have a president right now that is kind of bucking the system, you know. And have you ever heard of Catherine Austin Fitts? Sounds familiar.
She used to she was a former investment banker. And she talks about the whole banking system, how that no matter what happens, the global banking system is going to take place.
Well,
yeah, she's really interesting to listen to, and I've been watching a lot of her full videos, and I pulled clips from there, and I'm like, wow, what she says makes a lot of sense, but a lot of the big people in media won't interview her because there's too much truth in what she's saying.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you know, and she's been denied some big interviews.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't surprise me that, you know, people.
And she knows a lot.
Yeah, people that know too much, so to speak.
They want to silence you one way or the other, right?
They definitely want to silence you. Yeah, definitely want to silence.
And some people, they've given cement shoes that they want to silence.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's the way of the world right now. And I don't know if you are watching, or listen to there's a good series that my husband and I have been watching called Elkhorn.
I haven't heard of that.
It's great. It's now I'm just having a senior moment here. President. Now I can't. I'm just having a brain freeze. It was just on the tip of my tongue, and I was going to tell you. But anyway, it's a really good series, and the lessons he learned as he matured before he became president. Why am I having a complete brain block? But anyway,
yeah,
the audience.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that happens, I'm like, man, there's so much psyoping going on. It's it's a way to hide what's really happening behind closed doors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you just have to understand there's a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And
You know, and it's going to continue to uptick too, you
yeah.
know, and you just have to really, I say you have to really be in prayer about it, and, you know, and just really,
Be aware.
yeah, be aware, keep your head on a swivel, because they're going to throw anything and everything at all of us. So we just have to be prepared. As I like to say in the house, prepared awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but you know, the cool thing is that when you take time away from all of this stuff, and you reflect on the things that really, really matter. Like, sometimes I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I'm glad, like, sometimes this stuff happens to where they have these things to where, oh, the internet's been down for about 10 hours. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it's good because people need to unplug away from all the noise.
I agree. That's what my horse does for me.
That's pretty cool. So you're preparing for Thanksgiving
Yes.
and Christmas.
Yes.
Oh man.
Not so much Christmas as Thanksgiving right now.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is the best part to prepare for because it's food.
Yeah. And that's
Food and family.
Yeah, that seems to be when most of us gather together because, excuse me, at Christmas time, often, you know, the relations have to go to this family or that family or the other family. Our Christmases tend to be more low key. Now that our kids are grown and, you know, they've got families and they've got in-laws and that kind of thing. So Thanksgiving seems to be the better time for us to all get together. And so I'm very excited about it.
Oh man. That should be fun.
Yeah, should be fun.
That should be fun. I mean, it's always good to be around the table with the family, but to me, it's all about the food.
All about the food. Yes, all about the food. I'm already thinking about that too. Trying to make
food and naps.
Yep, food and naps and where everyone's going to stay. We got room for everybody, which is great. The other thing I'm doing is I pulled up all of my photo albums from the time the kids were little babies till like recent and stuff. And I have them all laid out on the dining room table, the albums.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it'd be fun with the nieces and nephews and the kids and the grandkids, all that, to have them. We'll be eating on the dining room table, but I'm going to put them somewhere where, you know, everyone can go and kind of look through and see all these photo albums that probably some of them have never seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that. That should be kind of fun.
Wow. It's always good to look at photo albums.
Yeah. And I've got some when like the nieces and nephews, the cousins were together for Christmas and, you know, stuff like that. Now they're all grown with their own kids. And that's the kind of stuff I think will be kind of fun. They're like, oh, Mom, you did that, you know?
Oh, wait a minute. You did the same thing when you were little? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's going to be hilarious.
Yep. Should be fun.
Yeah. Wow. I'm glad we got to sit here and catch up a little bit.
Me too. I hope you have good plans for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
We do. We have planned to have the family and then, you know, to ship them out when we're done.
That's what you do. Bring them in and ship them out.
Oh, are you full? Good. You can go home. No.
Yeah. So true.
Oh man, like when I used to watch football, I'd be like, "Oh, my game's coming on. So what time you guys leaving?"
Yep, you love them to come, and you're happy when they go.
Yeah. Boy, it's a huge cleanup too afterwards.
Yeah, it is. Well, I try to get everyone to clean up before they actually leave. We do kind of a cleanup unless somebody has a really early flight or something, which I don't think any of them do, but it's a lot of beds. We're actually going to be we have a little country house We have one in the city, and we're actually in the process of kind of remodeling that one. So I've been using our little country house that's up in the mountains it's our getaway. We come every weekend, and it's kind of become our gathering place. Because what I did, our house isn't really that big, but upstairs I had my husband, I said, I want a big loft. I want a big loft where we can put trundle beds and a sofa bed. We have a TV, got some windows. And so all the kids can come. The trundle beds can fit 2 to 3 kids, and then sofa bed. And then on the other side, I put one master bedroom, and I did a Jack and Jill bathroom. So
nice.
Yes, for the upstairs. So the kids can go up. And so in the office I'm in right now, my old office here, my Western theme office, I put a sofa bed in my office so that, we could have people sleep in the office if we have more people. And then we have 2 real bedrooms downstairs as well. And then it's just kind of an open concept. So we got our kitchen, living area, dining room, sort of all open together, not huge, but big enough. And this is where we all end up congregating.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's kind of midpoint. My daughter comes from California and her family. My son comes from Salt Lake. We're from Salt Lake. My niece and nephew are coming in from Albuquerque. And it just is going to be, and I think, excuse me, it's a little chilly in here, so my nose is running a little bit. Apologize. My daughter and her husband usually bring their big truck that has a camper, like a big camper thing that pops up or whatever.
Oh man, they do it big.
They do. Yeah. And we've got a nice parking pad. And like I said, we're out in the country. So the kids, we can send them outside. If it snows, they can be building snowman. One year they made a big mound and they were sliding down it, and stuff. And there is an area not too far where you can go tubing or something down a hill. But we can send them outside to play and run around and play games and stuff like that. So it's, I love the country. I wish we could live. This is my favorite house, even though it's smaller than the one down in the city. This is my favorite house because it's in the country, and it's a gathering.
It's so good,
so healthy. The air's better up here. We don't get the inversion up here, and it's a place where we all congregate, and it's my happy place. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm really, really glad we kind of bought this piece of land.
Too bad we're not neighbors.
I know. Too bad. Come and visit sometime. Yeah, we bought the piece of land some time ago. Thank God, because everything has skyrocketed. And before everything went berserk too, we both said, yeah, we should build a little house on there, and kind of a getaway. Because Salt Lake, both of us have asthma now, and Salt Lake has the bad air inversion. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
And so both of it, and that's what's prompted this. We both got asthma from that bad air, and up here there's no bad air. And so I said, I think we better build on that. It's just so we can escape the bad air. And it turned out to be a blessing. And I did it right, making the big loft upstairs and making it so it's family friendly.
Yeah, that's kind of sweet. And I'm pretty sure they enjoy it too.
They love it. They love coming here. And the one thing I said, I want a big island in the kitchen and chairs so the kids can get up there. We can make cookies. We can do all that kind of, I like it. It's kind of like old fashioned.
Yeah.
Like back in the day.
Yeah. Hey, I like the old school life.
Me too. Me too.
Like we in this house we watch shows like I Love Lucy.
I know. I love those old shows. Oh my gosh. I love the one where she's trying to feed all her mouth full of chocolates as the belts.
Oh, I just saw that one a couple of weeks ago when she was working at the candy factory.
Yes.
When her and Ethel had to get jobs.
Yes. That is
That was a
hilarious.
great one.
And she's stuffing her mouth so full.
And the lady that runs the factory, when she tried to make a joke, they're like, "There's no place for levity here."
Yeah. Oh, those shows are the best.
Yeah. And then she goes, "Oh, you're doing a great job," because she thought that they were really doing a great job. And she tells the person with the conveyor belt, "Let it roll," and it goes faster.
Yeah, and they're stuffing them in their pockets, her and Ethel, and in their mouths, and in their aprons. Oh, good times.
Yeah, that's kind of our daily tradition. We'll watch one episode. Right now, we're on the ones when they're in Hollywood.
Oh,
Yeah.
what
Where
are
they
those?
went to the Brown Derby.
I don't remember that one.
And what's his name? Bill Holden was there.
Are they the newer ones? The newer ones in black and color?
No, these are the black and whites.
Oh, the black and white ones still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen it. I've seen almost every one.
When she spilled the food on him,
Yeah.
the Brown Derby. That, and I didn't even know that was a real place back then.
Oh yeah, famous.
Yeah, and I
Restaurant.
was like, man, I wish it was still around because I would have loved to have visited it.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, you can take a boat and go by their house in Fort Lauderdale on the water.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they had, but they still call it the Lucille Ball House. It's on the water, still looks exactly the same. And they do ferries. We did one little boat ride from Fort Lauderdale. They have these little boats. When we first started going to Fort Lauderdale, we take these little boats and go all over because they have sightseeing tours in these little boats and shows where this person lived and this person who started this automobile or whatever industry, and then the house of where Lucille Ball lived. And it's kind of fun. It's it's
Lucy and Desi.
Lucy and Desi. Lucy. Yeah. And it's funny because you always think of them in California, right? Well, I'm sure they have multiple houses, California, but the show always appears like they're in New York, right? Then
and you know what's funny? I actually know a guy who had family members who knew Desi Arnaz, and he was from Cuba,
right?
And he said that back in the day, he goes, Lucy and Desi would do like some really awesome things for like different people. They would buy them houses and all this other stuff. I'm like, what?
Very cool.
I was like, wow, that's some cool stuff to know about some people that you never knew.
Right. That is,
I'm like,
cool.
wow.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a lot of money and somebody needs a house, I mean, if I were, filthy rich, I'd hope I'd be very generous.
Yeah.
I
know.
I mean, what are you going to do with it all?
Yeah, we can't take it with us.
Can't take it with us. Yeah. So, I mean, we're not hurting at all. We're pretty well off, but, certainly not even close to.
Well, if you have a roof over your head and your
Yeah.
lights are on and you have food on the table, you're good.
Yeah, I think that's being, pretty prosperous. And we we help our kids a lot. That's one thing. We try to help our kids, when they're buying a house or something like that. And we donate to charities, and a big believer in that. We have over the years supported candidates that we
remember
believe.
Burgess Owens and all those other people.
Yes, Burgess, and he's got another election coming up. I held a big event in my backyard for Burgess.
I remember.
Yeah, the first time he ran, and I went and handed out 300 flyers in a golf cart with my golf cart. I wouldn't take that golf cart out now on the roads today. The roads are horrendous, but back when his first term, that's how fast everything has changed here. And you think about it, His first term, I took the golf cart out and I went from neighborhood to neighborhood handing out. And some were high-end neighborhoods, some were regular neighborhoods, whatever. I went all over handing out 300 flyers to come to the event that I was holding in my backyard. We have a pretty big backyard, and it could have held, a lot of people. It was also during COVID, if you remember.
Yes, I do recall it. I was like, wow. And he's a pretty likable guy.
He's very likable. He has a great story to tell. He tells a story that he didn't know much about prejudice when he was growing up. He grew up in a all-black neighborhood, but he said it was a nice neighborhood, and everybody dressed up and went to church every Sunday.
Yep.
And that's how he grew up. And he says he didn't know anything about racism until he was much older. And then he got a football scholarship and ended up going to university and everything. But I found that fascinating because most people assume that the black neighborhoods back in the day, which, he's not ancient. And so when we're looking back at like the 50s and 60s, I think mostly the 60s he was talking about, 50s and 60s. Yes, in certain areas, like maybe Chicago, they were having some riots or whatever. But, back in the 50s and 60s, I think some of these, especially the ones in the South or Midwest, these were communities that were just communities, and they were communities of black people, and everybody went to church back then. I went to college at a college town, at a small college, a Christian college in North Carolina. It's where the Grahams, Billy Graham and Ruth Graham, lived, and they were actually alive. And I met them, knew them, talked to them. Ruth Graham was the Sunday school teacher, and he often, around the community were black neighborhoods, and you'd often see them in church. But most of these black neighborhoods in the South had their own churches and had their own communities, and they felt like they were fine. So somewhere along the line, the liberals convinced them that they weren't fine. And that's the way Burgess sort of tells the story.
Yeah, get the dads out of the homes.
Yeah.
That was the agenda.
Yeah, and create all these baby daddies and
give them welfare.
Give them welfare.
Destroy the family.
Destroy the family. That is their agenda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is their agenda. And as we see, we don't see as many young people getting married.
Which is sad.
Which is really, really sad.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'll help Burgess again. And I think he's coming up for, another election here. So,
well, guys, we hope you enjoyed our conversation. I kind of wanted to do it a little different today because you get all the news and everything else and all the other boogery in other places. And I said, I want to switch it up today. But tomorrow you will get some news. Just so you know. But I just want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you to my wonderful moderators. You guys are the best in town. You guys are the best audience in town. Whatever town you're living in, you're still the best audience I have. And we're just going to enjoy our time until tomorrow. Debbie and I are going to say our goodbyes off the air, but we're going to say goodbye to you right now. God bless you. Love one another. Take care of each other. Until the Lord tarries, I will see you tomorrow. And if you guys want to share last Tuesday's episode, I really wanted to share that testimony last week. So God bless you guys. We will see you soon.
Vindog Radio.